What's up, everybody? Charlie Marlow here. Want to talk about an interesting conspiracy theory or just theory I heard about tomorrow's presidential debate on CNN between, of course, the president, Joe Biden, and the former president, Donald Trump. Okay, real quick here, I'll explain. I was doing radio this morning, 590 The Fan, KFNS in St. Louis, and I was talking with Frank Cusimano, who comes on after us. And he said, "What do you think of this conspiracy theory?" And it got me thinking. I hadn't thought about this. But he said, "What if it makes sense for Donald Trump to not have a great debate against Joe Biden for this reason? If Joe Biden ties the debate or people think that Joe Biden wins the debate, then clearly Joe Biden, I think we'd all agree, is going to stay in the race versus Donald Trump. And right now, Donald Trump is leading in most polls, leading in the betting odds, leading in all the swing states. Last I checked, that got me thinking. It's pretty interesting because we've discussed a lot on the podcast. Everybody settle down, and I think it's kind of a general narrative, and it's fair to think, well, what if Joe Biden falls on his face? When I say falls on his face, I don't mean literally, although I think some people think he will. But what if he actually can't perform for 90 minutes and it's a bad look and he has multiple senior moments? Now, I don't think this is going to be the case. I'll break that down in a second. But it is an interesting thing to think about because I believe that Donald Trump and Joe Biden are so historically unpopular that they basically can only beat each other. You know what I'm saying? I think if the Republicans would have nominated Nikki Haley or Ron DeSantis, that either of those, and we'll say Haley because she was ahead of DeSantis at the end, but either of those people would have beaten Joe Biden, in my opinion, pretty dang easily. I think it's fair to say right now the election is generally a toss up, but Donald Trump is probably leading. But I think if it was Nikki Haley versus Joe Biden, I think Haley wins easily. Now, flip that. I think if Joe Biden would have stepped down and said, "Hey, I did my one term. I told you guys I was going to be a bridge to the next generation." I thought bridge actually did mean one term. Apparently it didn't. But let's say he stepped down, he had an open primary. I don't know if Kamala Harris is the most popular, but whoever. Let's say you think it's Gavin Newsom. I know he has baggage, but Michelle Obama, her name has been thrown around a lot. How about somebody like Gretchen Whitmer? How about just kind of a normal, reasonable purple state-ish Democrat? I think pretty much anybody beats Donald Trump. So when Frank Cusimano brought that up, it just got me thinking. I hadn't thought about that. I don't think it's really the case. I don't think it's really true, but it is interesting to think about because look, I think Donald Trump has a much better chance of beating Joe Biden than he would Michelle Obama, Gretchen Whitmer, whoever else you want to substitute. If you truly believe that Joe Biden is not going to be the nominee. So, what do you guys think about that? Would in the golf community we'd call that sandbagging? Could Donald Trump sandbag the debate? Not be horrible, right? But allow Joe Biden to do just well enough, not dominate, not really win, but do just well enough to stay in the race then, and allowing Donald Trump to more easily win the election versus Joe Biden, as opposed to somebody like Michelle Obama, Gretchen Whitmer, Gavin Newsom, whoever. Something to think about. I thought that was interesting. So let's talk about this debate, by the way. Now I'm going to bring up this poll that I put out there on X because I thought it was interesting. And look, this is not a scientific poll, but I will read it for all of you with the results here. All I said last night, this was about 8 o'clock Central Time last night. I said, who do you think will win the debate on Thursday? And I gave three options: Joe Biden, Donald Trump, and tie. Do you just think it's going to be a tie? Over 1,000 votes last I looked here, 1,061 votes. 25% of people think Joe Biden will win the debate. 60% think Donald Trump will win the debate. 15% think the debate will end up in a tie. What do you guys think about that? Do you agree? Do you think is Donald Trump the overwhelming favorite to win the debate? And look, we all know it's a matter of opinion. Who do you think won? But I think it's fair to say after most debates, if you're a reasonable human being and if you're not so partisan that you can't even admit, look, if Donald Trump wins, I'll say he won, or I'll say he won big, or I'll say kind of a tie. Joe Biden, I'll say, oh, he crushed it. Not so good. Maybe it was a tie. Here's what I think is going to happen with this debate. Okay. So again, when I read those numbers, 25% think that Joe Biden will win, 60% think Donald Trump, 15% tie. I, right now, if you had to ask me to bet, and I do like betting, I would say it's going to end basically in a tie. And here's why I say that. First of all, let's talk about the home field advantage that Joe Biden has. It's a CNN debate. Let's be real. It's going to be more favorable to Joe Biden. I'm not saying that Jake Tapper and Dana Bash are not going to be, relatively speaking, close to down the middle. But let's be real. CNN will most likely be more favorable to Joe Biden than another media network. And also, I think the rules they put in place, no audience. Look, Donald Trump is funny. Donald Trump can get laughs. Donald Trump is good at having those viral moments on social media, and the audience oohing and eyeing and clapping. I think that can help help propel that. I also think it makes for a better debate, right? Maybe not as entertaining without a crowd, but I think if you're actually looking for a substantive debate, which how many people really are, but I think you have a better chance with no audience and also cutting the mics, which I think benefits Joe Biden. So when I say I think this is going to be a tie, I think the home field advantage, CNN, no audience, and cutting the mics so that Donald Trump can't continue to talk or be heard at least and interrupt. I do think he does that more than Joe Biden, although they both most likely will do that. I think those rules favor Joe Biden. People were talking about the fact that Joe Biden wanted the one podium and then he allowed Donald Trump to have the final word. And I'm sure it's because Joe Biden wants the mask to not be seen, or the earpiece he has where Obama's telling him what to say, right? No, I'm joking, folks. I'm understanding the idea of you always want to be the last person to speak, but I don't think that matters as much in the modern age of media because you're not going to necessarily remember the last thing Donald Trump says or the last thing Joe Biden says. You're going to remember the best thing they say or the worst thing or the most easily shareable thing on social media. So I don't think the last word really matters as much as what's going to be the big viral moment. Second it goes out there, it's going to be all over X, Instagram, YouTube, all that. That's what really matters. Let's be real. The soundbite, who won, who had the big moment. Okay. So I think speaking last doesn't matter as much when it comes to that. Here's the other thing. I've said this 5,000 times. The Republicans, in my opinion, have done themselves a disservice by setting the bar so low for Joe Biden. They basically talk all the time. And I've said, look, Joe Biden, he's 82, doesn't look great, doesn't walk great, stumbles, stutters. He's not a great speaker. We all agree on that. But when you set the bar so low that basically if he doesn't fall down, if he doesn't freeze like Mitch McConnell, if he doesn't go up there and look like an elderly dementia patient that should be in a nursing home, Joe Biden, in my opinion, goes above the expectations, which are so ridiculously low. So that's why I think this debate will end up in a virtual tie. I think they'll both have their moments. I don't think Joe Biden will crap the bed. He usually steps up for the big moments, State of the Union. He was good in the debates back in 2020. Now, let's be real. He's a much different human being. He has deteriorated mentally. We've all seen that over the last 4 years. But he usually steps up for the big events. Plus, what is he taking a week? He's taking a week to prepare, which I don't think that's a good look for Joe Biden either. The fact that you need to go to Camp David and have a week to prepare for debate, like what is he doing? Just sleeping the whole time and getting them ready, whatever cocktail they have. I'm not, I'm joking here, but about like the steroids. Hey, he's going to be on caffeine, whatever it is, whatever he needs as an 82-year-old man to be able to be up there and perform for 90 minutes, 2 hours, whatever it is. Do it. But I don't think it's a great look that our president has to go away for 1 week to prepare for a debate. But he's also taking it seriously. So there's that. So at the end of the day, I think it's a tie, which actually favors Joe Biden. I think in a tie, Joe Biden comes out as a slight winner because the expectations are so ridiculously low for Joe Biden. And we'll see. Trump is great, though, at the nicknames, at the sound bites. So Trump's going to have his moments too. But I think that's what's going to happen. Let me know what you think. Reply in the comments, comment, like, subscribe. By the way, we're getting this channel going. I want to thank all of you guys and all the RFK supporters out there. There are many that are jumping on this channel. But I noticed this in our analytics on YouTube. Only 4% of our viewers, the last 30 days or 28 days, whatever it is, a month, only 4% of the people viewing this channel subscribe to the channel. So please, folks, let's change that. Let's get that number up. Please subscribe to the channel. It's free. It just recommends the videos. We try to do reasonable political commentary here. This channel is only going to grow. We've had our best month ever here in June, so we're going to continue to do more. This is a crazy election season. So there you go. Please subscribe. That's all I'm asking. We'll do Everybody Settle Down. We'll do a podcast previewing the debate tomorrow. I'll probably give my quick analysis right after the debate, Thursday night. And then we'll do a full show where we really break it down. I know that sounds like a lot, but dude, this is what everybody's talking about. This is what everybody's going to be talking about for the next, 3, 4, 5 days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the whole weekend, all probably the country and the world is going to be talking about is this presidential debate. So we're going to do the same. All right. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. Let's get that subscriber number up, baby. Peace.